You have 2 eyes, full color vision, and unlimited access to every screen on Earth. They see nothing, absolute darkness. Guess who learns faster? Daniel Kish lost both eyes to cancer before he was 13 months old. No sight, no visual memory, nothing. He taught himself human echolocation, clicks his tongue, listens to the echo, builds a 3D map of the world inside his head. He rides a mountain bike blind through traffic. Most of you can't ride a bike without GPS. Blind people know something neuroscientists spent decades confirming. 3 principles that make their brains learn faster, retain more, and process deeper than yours ever will. Same principles top coders, medical students, and language learners use to crush everyone around them. I'm about to show you exactly what they are, and by the end of this, you'll never approach learning the same way again. Chapter 1. The Subtraction Advantage. You think more information means better learning, more videos, more tabs, more textbooks, more input equals more knowledge. Wrong. More input equals more noise. Your brain is drowning and you think you're swimming. Here's what happens when you study. Eyes scan the page, phone buzzes, you glance, back to the page, lost your place, start over, a notification pops up, you read it. Back to studying, forgot what you just read. Sound familiar? Your eyes betray you constantly. They're the biggest distraction delivery system in your body. Now imagine you can't see. No screens, no notifications, no visual clutter, just sound, just touch, just your brain working the way it was designed to work, uninterrupted. Neuroscientist Alvaro Pascual-León at Harvard studied blind individuals using brain imaging. What he found was insane. The visual cortex, the massive chunk of brain most people use for seeing, doesn't just shut off in blind people. It gets repurposed, rewired, recruited for memory, language processing, and spatial reasoning. Your brain wastes its most powerful region on watching TikTok. Theirs redirects it to actual learning. And a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that blind participants outperformed sighted participants on verbal memory tasks by over 20%. Not because they're smarter, because their brain reallocated resources, less input, more processing power, fewer channels, deeper encoding. You have 5 senses fighting for attention. They have 4. And those 4 work harder than your 5 ever will. Most people think more access means more learning. It means more distraction. Constraint isn't a disadvantage, it's a weapon. Prisoners prove this with no internet. Blind people prove it with no sight. The pattern is the same, less in, more retained. But here's the problem though. Reducing input is only step 1. You can sit in a dark room and still learn nothing. What matters is how you process what comes in. That's where the second advantage hits. Chapter 2. Weaponize listening. You read a textbook, your eyes glide over words, you highlight a sentence, you feel productive, you learn nothing. Most people think reading is learning. It's not. Reading is the illusion of learning. Your eyes trick you into thinking you absorb something because you saw the words. Psychologists call this the fluency illusion. The text looks familiar, so your brain assumes it knows the material. It doesn't. You just recognize the font. Blind people can't fall for this trap. They don't read passively, they listen. And listening, real listening, is a fundamentally different cognitive act. When you read, your eyes skip words, they jump ahead, they skim. Research from the University of California, San Diego shows that people retain only about 10% of what they read passively. 10%. You spent 3 hours with that textbook and kept 18 minutes of it. Congratulations, idiot. When you listen, your brain processes sequentially. You can't skip ahead. You can't skim. Every word passes through your auditory cortex in order. Your brain is forced to hold the thread, predict what's next, and actively construct meaning in real time. Lawrence Rosenblum at UC Riverside showed that auditory processing activates broader neural networks than visual reading. Listening engages memory, prediction, and emotional centers simultaneously. You read with your eyes, they learn with their entire brain, but here's what makes it deadly. Blind people don't just hear, they interrogate. Every conversation is an information extraction session. They can't see your slides, they can't glance at your notes, they ask questions, they clarify, they rephrase what you said back to you. That's active recall happening in real time. No flashcards needed. The conversation is the flashcard. This maps directly to what researchers call the generation effect. When you generate an answer instead of recognizing one, retention doubles. Blind people generate constantly. You passively consume constantly. That's the gap. Want to steal this? You stop reading your notes, record them, listen back, but don't just listen. Pause. Repeat what you heard out loud in your own words. If you can't, you didn't learn it. You just heard it. There's a difference. Most of you don't know the difference because you've been staring at screens your whole life thinking you were studying. Hit subscribe before you forget this. 2 down, 1 more to go. This last one is the one that changes everything. Chapter 3, the memory palace on steroids. You memorize by staring at words, repeating them, writing them 5 times, hoping they stick. They don't. Your brain doesn't store text. It stores experiences, locations, sensations, emotions. You're feeding it the wrong format and wondering why nothing saves. Blind people don't have this problem. They've been building multisensory memory their entire lives. Every room they walk into gets encoded by sound, texture, temperature, smell, and spatial position. Every single time. Their mental maps are richer than yours because they're built for more dimensions. The method of loci, what most people call the memory palace, has been used since ancient Greece. You place information in imaginary rooms and walk through them to retrieve it. Memory champions use this technique to memorize thousands of digits, but most sighted people are terrible at it. Why? Because you don't pay attention to spaces. You walk through your house looking at your phone. You couldn't describe the texture of your own front door. Blind people live inside a memory palace every second of every day. Their spatial encoding is automatic, constant, effortless. A study by Fortin and colleagues at the University of Montreal found that congenitally blind individuals outperform sighted individuals on spatial memory tasks, not by a little, significantly. Their internal maps were more accurate and more detailed. Here's how you steal this. Stop memorizing words. Start memorizing locations. Studying for a biology exam? Your kitchen counter is cell structure. The fridge is mitochondria. The stove is protein synthesis. Walk through your house and place concepts in physical spots. Then walk the route again from memory. Your brain will reconstruct the path and the information comes with it. That's not a trick. That's how your hippocampus actually works. Okay, so you've just been ignoring it because school told you to sit still and stare at a worksheet. Add layers, touch something while you study, a textured object, rubber band on your wrist, cold glass of water. Your brain anchors the memory to the physical sensation, different texture for each subject. Smell works too. Rosemary while studying history, peppermint while studying math. Your olfactory bulb connects directly to the hippocampus. Directly. No middleman. It's the fastest memory highway in your brain, and you never use it. Blind people stack these anchors automatically because they have to. You have to do it on purpose because your eyes made you lazy. By the way, I put all of this into a 1-page protocol you can print, the sensory subtraction checklist, the active listening drill, and the multi-anchor memory method. Link in the description. It's free. But here's the thing though, you now know how to cut distractions, process deeper, and encode permanently. 3 systems that blind people use every single day without thinking. But most of you will hear this and do absolutely nothing. You'll keep scrolling, keep highlighting textbooks, keep wondering why nothing sticks. Because knowing the method isn't the problem. Your discipline is the problem. You'll learn this and forget it by tomorrow. 90% of what you just heard will be gone in a week unless you actively fight the forgetting curve. That's why I made this video breaking down the exact space repetition system that makes forgetting impossible. Watch it next.